G'day legends, sorry there, I had to make sure it was actually filming this time because I've just made this video and I didn't press record, so I thought I'd actually record this one. Alright, sorry, I am holding the phone today, so you notice I'm not quite in my normal spot. That's because I'm going to show you some stuff from the charts. We're going to talk about the last 4 to 5 days. So let's get into it. Stop looking at me. Alright, here we go. Right. So I'm just going to chat GBT, just because I got it to write up my notes for me for the last, just the three, I said the three biggest headlines for the last week. US enacts the landmark Genius Act for stablecoins. On July the 18th, President Trump signed the Guiding and Establishing National Innovation for US Stablecoins Genius Act into law. Wow, that's a bit of a mouthful for you. Right. The first comprehensive federal regulation for stablecoins. It mandates one-to-one backing with a dollar or low-risk reserve, monthly audits, and designates CFTC as the primary overseer. As we know that the CFTC and the SEC were fighting over everything over there. Now they're starting to put into law who's actually in control of these things. This pushed Bitcoin to a new peak, 123,000 so this was last week, obviously, about 4 or 5 days ago, and propelled the total crypto market cap past 4 trillion. The two other bills, the Digital Asset Market Clarity Act and the Anti-CBDC Surveillance State Act, still await Senate approval. So, as I said last week, I said that there would be three acts, bills that they were trying to get through. I said we'd probably only get the one, and turns out I've actually got that correct. These other two are waiting for the upper house approval, if we're talking in Australia. CoinDex suffers $44 million hacking breach. It's an Indian exchange. They lost $44 million, which isn't that much, so I'm not going to hold on it. And the big one got hacked for $27 million. Both of these will cover it for the people that are in them by the looks of it, so not too worried about that. The other big thing for me was XRP broke its all-time high this week, and we'll look at it when we go into crypto bubbles. All right, next we'll go and have a look at our indicators. The first one we're going to look at is the Relative Strength Index. And yeah, this is good. So right now we're at 51, well, just under 52. So that is just over halfway, meaning that we're still slightly bullish and we're not overheated over the 70 or under the 30 line. So basically you want this squiggly line here to stay inside this purple box. When it goes outside the purple box, it basically means it's either, if it's up the top, we're very overheated and it's, maybe time for you to sell. Not financial advice, but that is what traders use. And if it's under, it's generally can be a good time to buy. Or that's what I look at anyway. All right, well, the next indicator we'll look at is the Fear and Greed. Fear and Greed is at 71. Yet again, another great number. It just means that we're not too far up in the greed. We're not into extreme greed, which means that, we're not looking at indicators that tell us that it's time to sell necessarily yet. I'm talking about for me, you do you, of course. And the most important one that people will be interested in, probably, I'll just wait for it to kick in, sorry, is Bitcoin dominance. So as you can see, Bitcoin dominance was here just a couple of days ago at 64.5 roughly. We were up as high as nearly 66. We are now down at 60.82. So we have dropped quite a substantial amount, 5% roughly. I predicted that if we get back down to 57.5, I would be calling that altcoin season. And it looks like that will still ring true. That should be roughly 10% down. It might be about 58 because it went slightly higher than I was expecting. But yeah, so down at 60, we're not far off of being 10% down over the long haul. Go a little bit further, and yeah, it'll be great. All right. Sorry, I just got to remember what I was going to tell you. Done that. I like this guy. This guy's name's Ash Crypto on what's his Telegram. He's talking about the last administration and especially its effects on Bitcoin and crypto, I believe. Bitcoin and Ethereum, sorry. No ETFs, worse crypto administration, limited institutional buying, no global adoption, yet Bitcoin hit $1.3 trillion market cap in 2021. This cycle, Ethereum has spot ETFs, pro-crypto administration, companies buying it heavily, institutions building on it, and you don't think it'll hit 10,000 this cycle. I don't know about 10,000. I'm not saying it won't, especially, but I'm just saying, 7 to 10 is probably a good number anywhere there. That if I owned it, and I don't own it, so I'm not as invested in it mentally. Yeah, that's where I would be looking. I did own a lot of it, a fair bit of Ethereum compared to the rest of my crypto in the last 2 bull cycles, and I did do quite well over it, but at that time. All right, let's move on to crypto bubbles. Oh, the internet's slowing down on me. Let me know that if you like the way I'm doing this. I've put crypto bubbles last, mainly because I think sometimes I get a bit lost in it, and that might be boring for people. But yeah, so I've just moved it to last so that you're getting that other news and technical, well, not that it's very technical, but those indicators first, and then we just have a quick look at the markets. This is the market cap by week. As you can see, there's some very nice numbers there. Conflux is up 90, nearly 97%. A lot of things are up about that 20%, 30% even. One I want to show you, obviously, would be XRP. As I stated, they made their all-time high, which is very good for the crypto market as well as XRP holders, of course, which I am not. I have held a lot of it in the past, but I've moved on to other things. So, but I very much feel for XRP people. So I believe if they've held, they deserve the profits that they get. So I think it's fantastic for them. But the old all-time high was about, I can't get it to sit, was about here somewhere, just under that. And so we've pushed up an extra 20 cents basically, and we're consolidating above it, the old all-time high. It was $3.42, I think, off the top of my head. So to have the third biggest coin break its all-time high after Bitcoin does, a week later, that's awesome for alt season. And as well as that, of course, I've made videos about how Ethereum's been pumping. We'll have a quick look at it. I want the weekly. Doing this on the side, on my phone on the side, just a little bit difficult. I'm not used to doing it. All right, so that's what your week looks like. We've gone from basically under 3,000 down here to 3.8. Like, what a move by Ethereum, the second biggest coin, but the biggest altcoin. As I've said, you cannot have alt season without your leader deciding they're going to move. Yeah, like that's about. I can quickly have a look in the 1 to 200, which is about as far down as I would be looking if you're new, and even that, the 1 to 200, if it's a coin that's not moving up, and it moves out of that 200, that's probably too dangerous, because easy to, for those coins to go all the way to zero. Every coin can always go to zero. Lost the camera. All right. Yeah, so every coin can always go to zero. As I've said, I'll put my hat down and try and get rid of that glare. Yeah. Just bringing the news to you today. That's all I've got time for. Hope you've enjoyed it. Put a comment if you want something different, or if you think there's something I could do better. As always, have a great evening. Do something nice for someone else. Crypto Bogan out.